The hype of an item is directly related to the market for that item, and that's set by the people. So whatever you're seeing on social, on Twitter, on Instagram, Snapchat, whatever you're seeing in the streets, the people are going to determine the hype.
I always tell this story. I wanted to buy a coat from Supreme. I think I was on y'all's website actually. It might've been y'all or one of the other blogs. And I saw this coat, I was like, oh, that's a cool coat. And y'all had the information of where to go buy and all that. I'm like, oh, this is in New York City. I was like, oh, I live in New York City. I'm gonna just go down there and get it. You know, they said it's available tomorrow at 11 o'clock. I got there and there was a line around the corner. And then some kid, he was in the front of the line. I never forget it. He told me, he's like, yeah, man, if you wasn't here last night, you're not getting a coat. And he was like, but I'll sell you mine for $650. And I went, but the coat only $300. He's like, yeah, but I'll sell you mine for $600. Like, that's the best, you know, like, yeah. So that's when I got my first taste of supply and demand.
From my perspective as a consumer, I think reselling is whack to me because you're taking, like, I wanted those sneakers, but now I can't get them and you're selling them for 4 times the price. But if I remove myself and my feelings from that situation, I understand that reselling is an art, it's a science. It's very difficult to do.
I mean, personally, I don't like the term reselling because I feel like it takes away from the actual work that a person puts in. It's kind of like when I was living down in Florida, I worked in a lot of restaurants, high-end restaurants, and you never call a chef a cook. So I would never call a person that freezes their ass off, dedicates their time, does their homework. I would never just degrade them to a term like reseller.
I think that reselling, social media, and this like powerful social group think has definitely led to what I call like a homogenization of culture, where it's like everybody looks the same, everybody talks the same, everybody dresses the same. Before like social media and before influencers and tastemakers, there would be pockets or regions of people who this person fits this category, this person fits that category. But now you can get a person who is from Tokyo looks like a dude who's on 125th Street in Harlem.
I done met so many cool young people, older people, just people in the community off these sneaker drops and lineups and like contacts and, you know, people that are photographers, videographers, people over in Japan and London. Like, so it's a community. So like it's one of them things where, like I said, you gotta understand it before you hate on it.
Reselling is not a game, it's a business like anything else, and you have to manage it if you want to be successful like a Foot Locker, like an international chain. You have to have clientele, you have to market, you have to have a website, you have to have inventory, you have to have processes, you know, you have to have an LLC. Like if you want to be really successful, it's just like any other business. So if I remove myself from the fact that you're whack because you're taking sneakers out of my pool to cop, I respect resellers, successful resellers a lot. What's happened though in 2000, probably 14 and beyond with the rise of social is that now you have like nickel and dime resellers that they'll cop a Yeezy here and they'll cop like an off-white J here and they'll flip it for $100. Now what that's doing is watering down the market for people who are trying to have a certain level of business and to scale their business to have a lot of clients and a lot of sneakers. So it's like now the resale game, like you have people undercutting you for pennies now.
I'm not gonna sell it for what the next guy sell it for. If you hit me up, you got money, you got cash, I'm gonna work with you, man. If I paid $400 for it, I'm the type of dude that'll let it go for $500, $550. And that's why I don't like to say that I'm a reseller. Because at the end of the day, I wear all of my stuff.
I think the resale market is going to eventually consolidate and there's going to be less people trying to do it. You'll see people on Twitter, Instagram all the time at this point just dying to get rid of stuff that either they shouldn't have copped because it was a brick in the first place, or there's so many people doing it that the profits just aren't worth the effort. And if I'm only making $50, $100, $200 a pair, I have no clientele, and I'm going through all this just to cop these sneakers, it's not worth it to me.
My philosophy, and I'm coining this, and I'm gonna look directly into the camera when I say this, I'm sorry. An item is only worth what a fool will pay for it. So if it's worth that to you, then it's worth that to me to go get it.